A hug might seem like a simple gesture, but the length of time it lasts can reveal more than words ever could. When a man hugs you, the duration of that embrace holds a silent message, whether he realizes it or not. A quick, fleeting hug, barely more than a tap on the back, often signals formality, friendliness, or obligation rather than deep emotion. It's the kind of hug exchange between acquaintances, colleagues, or distant friends, where the primary goal is acknowledging presence rather than fostering connection. This type of hug is polite, brief, and without depth. It's over before it even begins, leaving little room for interpretation. But then there's the hug that lingers, the one that lasts a second too long, stretching just beyond what's considered standard. That's when things start to change. When a man holds on to you for that extra moment, he's communicating something unspoken. It's hesitation to let go, a reluctance that speaks to deeper emotions he may not be ready to voice. That additional second, that pause before release, carries weight. It's in that moment where feelings, whether conscious or subconscious, come to the surface. Maybe he's savoring the warmth of your presence, or perhaps he's trying to memorize how you feel in his arms. Whatever the case, a prolonged embrace is rarely meaningless. Then there's the kind of hug that completely transcends casual connection. It's the one that lasts long enough for you to notice the world slowing down around you. When a man wraps his arms around you and doesn't seem in a hurry to pull away, it's a powerful indicator of emotional attachment. There's a certain kind of security in that hold, a feeling of safety, comfort, and unspoken understanding. Sometimes this type of hug comes when words fail, when emotions are too strong to be neatly packaged into sentences. It's a silent confession, an unspoken plea to stay close just a little longer. A long hug isn't just about physical closeness, it's about emotional presence. If he holds you tightly, as if grounding himself in that moment, it can mean he's feeling vulnerable. It might be his way of showing appreciation. Or perhaps he's battling something internally and needs that connection to steady himself. Some hugs are about reassurance, a way to silently say, "I'm here and I care." When a man clings to you, when his arms stay wrapped around you even when the moment could have passed, it's often because he doesn't want to let go, not just physically but emotionally too. Even after the hug ends, the energy lingers. If he lets go reluctantly, if his hands slide away slowly instead of quickly breaking contact, that says something. If he stays close even after the hug is over, if he looks at you like he's still holding on to the feeling, then you know it meant more than just a casual embrace. A hug may last only seconds, but its impact can echo far beyond that moment, leaving behind a feeling that words often fail to capture. The way a man hugs you says a lot, but the tightness of his hold speaks even louder. A hug isn't just about physical closeness, it's about emotion, intent, and sometimes even vulnerability. The strength of his embrace can reveal what he's feeling in that moment, whether it's affection, protectiveness, longing, or even a subconscious desire to be closer to you. A light, barely there hug, where his arms loosely drape around you with little to no pressure, often signals detachment. It's the kind of hug people give out of politeness rather than genuine connection. There's no real emotion behind it, no desire to hold on, no unspoken words exchanged. It might come from someone who's just being friendly, or from a man who's unsure of his place in your life. It can also be a sign of discomfort, hesitation, or emotional distance, as if he's holding back something he's not ready to express. On the other hand, when a man hugs you with a firm, secure grip, it's a completely different story. A tighter embrace often means he wants to be close to you, that he's not just hugging you out of obligation, but out of real emotion. There's something deeply reassuring about a hug that feels strong and intentional. It creates a sense of safety, of being grounded in the moment. When he pulls you in and holds you with a steady, firm pressure, it can mean he's feeling something real. Whether he's expressing love, admiration, or a sense of attachment he may not even fully understand himself. And then there's the kind of hug that feels almost desperate, where he holds you so tightly, it's as if he's afraid to let go. This isn't just a hug, it's a silent plea. It could be an expression of deep emotions he hasn't put into words yet, or it could be his way of finding comfort in you. Sometimes a man hugs tightly because he needs the embrace just as much as you do. He may be going through something difficult, or maybe he's feeling emotions so intensely that words wouldn't do them justice. A hug like this lingers in your memory because it carries weight. It's filled with something unspoken yet deeply felt. A tight hug can also reveal protectiveness. When a man holds you close and firm, especially when his arms wrap around you in a way that shields you, it's his way of saying, I've got you. There's an instinctive nature to it, a subconscious need to make you feel safe and cared for. It's not just about affection, it's about presence, about reassuring you that he's there, that he's someone you can lean on. And sometimes the tightness of a hug says what words can't. It's in the way he presses you closer, in how his arms don't loosen right away, in the way he breathes against you, taking in the moment. A tight hug is more than just physical closeness. It's emotional closeness. It's a silent message, a feeling that lingers long after the embrace ends. A hug is never just a hug. It's a silent language, a way of expressing emotions without saying a word. And when a man hugs you, the placement of his hands can reveal exactly what's on his mind. Whether he's being respectful, affectionate, protective, or even a little romantic, where his hands land during that embrace can speak volumes about his feelings toward you. If his hands stay high on your back, around your shoulder blades or upper back, it's usually a sign of friendship, support, or care. This is the kind of hug that says, I'm here for you rather than I want to be closer to you. It's a safe and neutral position, often used in platonic relationships or when someone is offering comfort. A man who hugs this way may care deeply about you, but he's either keeping his emotions in check or isn't quite sure where he stands with you. It's warm, it's reassuring, but it's not necessarily romantic, unless there are other signs like the tightness of the hug or how long he holds on. When his hands rest at the middle of your back, this is where things start to shift. This placement is more personal, more intimate, and it shows a level of connection that goes beyond just friendship. A hug like this suggests that he feels close to you, emotionally and physically, that he's comfortable around you, and that he may even be developing deeper feelings. This is a sign of warmth, familiarity, and genuine affection. If he rubs small circles on your back or gently squeezes, it's an added layer of comfort. He's not just holding you, he's trying to make sure you feel safe and appreciated in his arms. Then there's the lower back placement, and this is where things get interesting. When a man's hands settle lower on your back during a hug, it often indicates attraction and romantic interest. This isn't the casual, friendly type of embrace. It's a gesture that suggests he enjoys being close to you in a way that goes beyond just emotional connection. A man who hugs this way is subtly showing his desire to be physically near you, to close the space between you. If he gently pulls you closer, that's a sure sign that he wants more than just a simple embrace. This hug isn't just about comfort, it's about chemistry. If his hands travel even lower, resting near your waist or hips, then there's no doubt he is feeling something strong. This is a bold move, a clear indication that he sees you in a romantic or intimate light. A hug like this usually carries an unspoken message. I want to be close to you, not just emotionally, but physically too. If he holds you this way while looking into your eyes after the hug, it's a major sign that he's interested in something deeper. And sometimes the most telling sign isn't just where his hands land, but whether they move. If his hands start high and then slowly glide lower, he might be feeling something that he's hesitant to fully express. A lingering touch, a slow movement, a small squeeze. These little details can reveal everything about what's going on in his mind. A hug might seem like a simple gesture, but if you pay attention, it reveals far more than words ever could. Beyond the way he holds you or where his hands land, the way a man breathes during a hug can tell you everything about what he's feeling in that moment. Breathing is one of the most natural, uncontrollable responses to emotion, and when a man embraces you, the rhythm, depth, and even hesitation in his breath can silently communicate his thoughts and feelings. If a man hugs you and his breathing remains steady and unchanged, it's likely a casual, comfortable embrace. He's not feeling any intense emotions. He's simply enjoying the moment, offering warmth and connection without being overwhelmed by any deep feelings. This doesn't mean he doesn't care, but rather that he's at ease, relaxed, and treating the hug as a natural exchange. It's friendly, familiar, and effortless, but it may not indicate strong romantic emotions. However, if he takes a deep breath as soon as he pulls you into his arms, that's something different. A deep inhale often means he's taking in the moment, soaking in the feeling of being close to you. It's almost as if he's memorizing your scent, the warmth of your body, or the energy you bring into his space. This kind of deep breath is unconscious. It happens when someone feels something strongly but doesn't quite know how to express it. It's a moment of silent appreciation, a sign that being close to you has an effect on him, even if he isn't saying it out loud. Then there's the long exhale. If he breathes out slowly while holding you, it's a clear sign of relief, comfort, and trust. This kind of sigh happens when someone finally feels at peace, like they've been carrying tension and your presence allows them to let it go. It's as if he's been holding his breath all day, and the moment he hugs you, he can finally relax. This is one of the most intimate and revealing signs of deep emotional connection. It means that being in your arms makes him feel safe, reassured, and understood. It's not just about attraction, it's about feeling emotionally grounded. But sometimes a man's breath will change in another way. If his breathing gets quicker or shallower while hugging you, it could mean he's feeling nervous or overwhelmed by emotions he hasn't yet processed. Maybe he has feelings for you that he hasn't voiced, or maybe the closeness is making him realize something he wasn't fully aware of before. A shaky breath, a subtle hesitation. These small details can indicate that the hug means more to him than he's letting on. And then there's the moment after the hug. If he inhales sharply when you pull away, as if he's been snapped out of a dream, that's a powerful sign that he wasn't ready to let go. His body responded before his mind could, revealing just how much that embrace affected him. Breathing may seem like a small detail, but in moments like these, it says everything. A hug is a powerful thing. It's a moment of closeness, a silent exchange of emotion. But sometimes the real meaning of that hug isn't found in the embrace itself, but in what happens immediately after. The moment he lets go, the way he reacts, the look in his eyes, these are the real clues to understanding what that hug truly meant. If he pulls away quickly, almost abruptly, it could mean a few different things. Maybe the hug was just a friendly gesture, something casual without deep emotional weight. Or, on the other hand, maybe he felt something so strongly that it caught him off guard, and pulling away quickly was his way of regaining control. Some men struggle with processing their emotions in real time, and if a hug stirred up unexpected feelings, his instinct might be to step back before he gives too much away. Then there's the hesitation, the kind where he starts to pull away but lingers just for a moment longer. This is where things start to get interesting. When a man doesn't fully let go right away, when his hands slowly release you instead of breaking contact instantly, it's often a sign that he wasn't quite ready for the hug to end. He might be savoring the last traces of your warmth, silently wishing for just a few more seconds of closeness. That kind of hesitation isn't accidental. It's an unspoken message, a feeling he may not have the words to express yet. Eye contact after a hug is another major clue. If he looks at you immediately, if his eyes search yours for a moment as if trying to gauge your reaction, it means that hug meant something to him. It could be curiosity, wondering if you felt what he felt, or it could be a silent confirmation, as if he's checking to see if you noticed the emotion behind it. If he holds that gaze, if there's a softness or intensity in his expression, that's a clear sign that something deeper is happening inside him. But what about those moments when he pulls away and seems flustered? Maybe he runs a hand through his hair, shifts his stance, or clears his throat. That's nervous energy, an indication that the hug affected him more than he expected. It's a classic sign of someone processing emotions in real time, someone who might be realizing their own feelings at that very moment. A man who reacts this way isn't just being polite, he's feeling something he may not be entirely ready to admit yet. And then there's the ultimate sign, the man who finds an excuse to touch you again even after the hug is over. Maybe it's a light touch on your arm, a playful nudge, or even just standing closer than necessary. That's his way of maintaining that connection even after the hug has ended. It means he doesn't want the moment to completely slip away, that some part of him is still lingering in the embrace. Because sometimes a hug isn't just a hug, it's the beginning of something more. A hug is one of the simplest yet most powerful forms of connection. It's a physical expression of emotion, a silent message sent without words. And when a man is the one to initiate that hug first, it means everything. It reveals what he feels deep down, sometimes even before he's fully aware of it himself. Because a man who takes the step to reach out and pull you into an embrace isn't just going through the motions. He's making a choice to close the space between you, to seek comfort, connection, or even something more. When a man hugs you first, it's a clear sign that he wants to be close to you. He isn't waiting for you to make a move. He isn't responding out of politeness. He's actively choosing to create a moment with you. This means he feels comfortable around you, that there's a sense of ease in your presence. A man who doesn't feel emotionally connected or safe with someone wouldn't naturally seek out that kind of physical closeness. So when he's the one to initiate, it shows that he trusts you, that he feels drawn to you, and that on some level he craves that connection. But beyond just comfort, initiating a hug can also signal deeper feelings. If he hugs you first, especially in a moment when there's no real obligation to do so, it often means you've been on his mind. Maybe he missed you, maybe he's feeling protective, or maybe he simply couldn't resist the urge to hold you. It's not just about being polite, it's about expressing something he might not even be able to put into words yet. When a hug comes naturally from him without hesitation, it's because something inside him is pulling him toward you. The way he initiates the hug also matters. If he pulls you in gently with warmth and care, it shows tenderness and affection. He wants to embrace you, to make you feel safe and appreciated. If the hug is strong and firm, it can mean he's feeling protective or deeply connected to you. And if he holds on to you for longer than expected, it's a sure sign that he's feeling something powerful. A man who doesn't care won't linger in an embrace, but a man who does will hold on just a little longer, even if it's only for a second or two. Another important clue is whether this hug happens in public or private. If he's comfortable hugging you first in front of others, it means he's not afraid to show his affection for you. He's willing to let the world see that he cares. But if he initiates the hug in a quiet, personal moment, it may be even more meaningful. It means he's focused on you, on the connection you share, and that the hug is about something deeper than just a casual greeting. At the end of the day, when a man is the one to reach for you first, it's a reflection of what's in his heart. He doesn't just want to be near you, he needs to be. And that simple act, that moment where he chooses closeness over distance, speaks louder than any words ever could.